reason why we began the conversation about participating in a walkout was because right after the Parkland shooting, it was February vacation, and there were lots of talk amongst kids, students here, that I noticed about doing something about it. So I went to administration and we got the okay to do it. And we just knew that it had to be done because it's a very big epidemic that's going on in our world today, and it's not something that you can just avoid and ignore. The purpose of the walkout was to support the movement that the Parkland students created in order to make sure that that type of tragedy never happens again at any other schools. And it wasn't as much to, it wasn't supposed to be like a political standpoint, like against guns. It was more just to protect our schools so that it happens never again. I think that once again, every time that one of these school shootings happens, it's a tragedy, and it's kind of feels completely surreal, like you don't believe that it could ever happen to your school. But I'm sure that that's the way that all the other students in these schools that have experiences felt as well until it happened to them. So even though the Parkland shooting had like immense destruction, just like every other shooting, I think that the way that the students reacted and they were able to build this powerful force that can't be denied, I think that really inspired me to bring that into our community so that we could support them as well.
I think the purpose was to just kind of get people to realize that this is kind of real and it can really happen to anybody, and just mostly to honor the people who died in the tragedy. I had a friend who passed in one of those same type of situations, so when I see something like that happen, it kind of hits me down deep and it kind of hits home for me. And I think not just me, but for a lot of people it hits like that. And I think it did a good job. We did get some people who aren't even involved in the whole high school, which I think is a great sign for the entire community. People were behind it. There was some opposition. Well, I mean, you'd have that for anything. So I'm glad at the response that was given.
I was actually very impressed by it because when we walked around to the different classes and lunches to educate them about what we were doing, there were lots of questions by the students about what exactly we were marching for and what the walkout was about, whether it was political or whether it was to like protect our schools. So I was very, very impressed by the way that the students wanted to know more about it before they signed up for it. So it showed that the students that did participate in it really did care about this movement, and they weren't just doing it to get out of class. The more schools and communities that take action and show support for this movement, the louder the children's voices will be, so that hopefully we will be able to make change and we'll be able to stop this from ever happening again, because no one deserves it.